Wonderful friends, welcome you all. Slowly we are progressing in the study of Yoga Vaashishtha Maharamayana, Shloka by Shloka, Sarga by Sarga. Along with that, may our understanding also become subtler regarding the Parabrahma Tattva as real. Everything else is mithya. Therefore, be there as Vyavahari, but not a samsari. Realize the self and be freed from bandhana. Experience moksha. Good to see you being here every day. Not only this class, we also have Shankar Bhagwan's Grantha Adhenam going on. Yes, more than 500 days. 30th text going on. Yoga Taravali after this in Hindi. Morning also we study Shvetashvatara Upanishad in English. 600 days almost. Few more mantras are there in it. Last chapter, Gita, second chapter. From tomorrow, Sthita Prajna Lakshanas of chapter 2 will begin in our study in Hindi. Then in Mandukya, fourth Alata Shanti. Prakaranam, 37th mantra is so good about the Brahma Satyatva there also. Skanda Puranam tomorrow will begin the Uttarardham of Nagarakhanda. Nagarakhanda. So this is how we are spending our day in touching all these Shastras. So welcome. Yoga Vasishtha Maharamayana, Trutiya Utpatthi Prakaranam, 15th Sarga, Leela Mandavya Upakhyaname, the Lakshanas of Raja and Rani Shubha Lakshana, just enumerating by Vasishthaji we'll see today. Then tomorrow we'll see their happy married life, and then how that Leela, the wife, wants to do her various tapasyas to see that her husband is living eternally. How Mother Saraswati comes and gives her vidya. These are the things through stories. It becomes more easier for us to understand. Pure Siddhanta Jnana through Yukti, Shruti Pramana, then Upakhyanas, then Upamana, when all of them are given, more chances for our intellect to grasp. All said and done, the thing finally will be revealed only that the Jagat is Mithya, etc., only when the actual truth is actually actualized by us. There is no doubt at all. Start. Om. 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 Om Sahana Vavatu. Om Sri Rama Rama Rameti. Om Namo Brahmadibhyo. Om Brahmanandam Paramasukadam. Parabrahmane Shrutimatre Samasta Brahma Bhakti Yoga Dharma Vidyacharya Rishibhyo Munibhyo Gurubhyo Devatabhyo Asmat Gurubhyo Namaha Sri Ramachandra Parabrahmane Sri Vasishtha Vishwamitradi Rishibhyo Namaha Sankalpaha Tesham Sarvesham Kripanugrahena Upanishad Yoga Vasishtha Maharamayonokta Brahma Atma Aikya Bodhena अस्मिन् क्षणे एव मोक्ष कैवल्य प्राप्त्यर्थम श्रुति स्मृति पुराण इतिहास संतवांगमयोक्त साध्य साधनानुभव सिद्ध्यर्थम तत्रोक्त ऋषि मुनि गुरुदेवता दर्शनानुग्रहानुभव प्राप्त्यर्थम सनातन धर्मस्य विश्वव्याप्ति विश्व आध्यात्मिक प्रगत्यर्थम धर्म संस्थापकानां निरंतर दिग्विजयार्थम श्रीराम मंदिरवत् शिव कृष्णादि मंदिरादीनां पुनरवाप्ति तेषु निरंतर शास्त्र अध्ययन अध्यापन उपासना यज्ञ याग साधना सेवा तपस्या प्रार्थनादीनां द्वारा भारतवर्षस्य सनातन धर्मस्य बाह्याभ्यंतर शत्रुविघ्न समूल निर्मूलन पूर्वक भारतवर्षे विश्वे च अस्माद् क्षणादारभ्य वैदिक हैन्दव संस्कृतेः धर्ममोक्ष पुरुषार्थानां सु संप्रतिष्ठावाप्त्यर्थम् अस्यां कक्षायाम् आगतानां संकल्पितसत्कर्मसु दिग्विजयार्थं तेषां हृदये परब्रह्मादीनां प्रति भक्त्यादीनां द्वारा जन्म साफल्यार्थं अनेक शास्त्राणाम अध्ययन साधना प्रयत्न मध्ये श्री वाल्मीकि महर्षि विरचित श्री राम वशिष्ठ संवाद रूप श्री योग वासिष्ठ महारामायण स्मृति प्रकरण मोक्ष शास्त्रस्य पारायणम अध्ययनं साधना प्रयत्न मोक्षार्थम वयं सर्वे करिष्यामहे मंगलाचरण श्लोकाः। ओम यतः सर्वाणि भूतानि प्रतिभान्ति स्थितानि च यत्रैवोपशमं यान्ति तस्मै सत्यात्मने नमः। ज्ञाता ज्ञानं तथा ज्ञेयं द्रष्टा दर्शनदृश्यभूः कर्ता हेतुः क्रिया यस्मात् तस्मै ज्ञप्त्यात्मने नमः। स्फुरन्ति सीकरा यस्मात् आनन्दस्याम्बरे वनौ सर्वेषां जीवनं तस्मै ब्रह्मानन्दात्मने नमः। दिवि भूमौ तथाकाशे तस्मै सर्वात्मने नमः। ओम सत्यं सॉरी सत्यं ज्ञानमनन्तमेकमजरं नित्यं विभुं शाश्वतं प्रत्यग्ब्रह्मरसायनं सुखघनं पूर्णं परं पावनं स्वात्मज्योतिरनादिमध्यनिधनं मायाविलासैर्मुहुः विश्वाकारमपास्तं मायमभयं वन्दे विशुद्धं पदं। ज्ञानादेवात्मनो मोक्षः न तु कर्मसमाधिभिः अज्ञातोऽसौ स्वसदृश्यं सृजत्येवेति कीर्त्यते। ॐ तस्मै श्रीगुरवे वसिष्ठमुनये नित्यं नमस्कुर्महे। विश्वामित्रमुनिं शरण्यमनघं भूयो नमस्याम्यहं। तस्मै वाल्मीकये श्रीगुरुतमगुरवे भूरिभावैर्नताः स्मः। पूर्णानन्दस्वभावः स्वजनहितकृते माययोपात्तकायः कारुण्यादुद्दिदीर्षुर्जनमनवरतं मोहपङ्के निमग्नम् आविश्यान्तर्वसिष्ठं बहिरभिकलयन् शिष्यभावं वितेने यः संवादेन शास्त्रामृतजलधिममुं रामचन्द्रं प्रपद्ये। ओम श्री रामचंद्र परब्रह्मणे नमः। वशिष्ठादि ऋषिभ्यो नमः। श्री योग वासिष्ठ महारामायण शास्त्रम तृतीय उत्पत्ति प्रकरणम लीलोपाख्यानम मांडव्योपाख्यानम नाम पंचदश सर्गः। श्री वशिष्ठ उवाच। Friends, Vaashishtha ji telling us that Leela Upakhyanam. He said, to make it more clear to you, the Brahma Satyatva Jagat Mithyatva, I will tell you this Mandapa Upakhyanam. When he says so, Sri Rama says, yes, Guru, please tell me if this Satya Jnana, Tattva Jnana is going to become more clear to me. Then Sri Vasishtha ji starts telling that Upakhyana beginning with the Varnana of Shubha Lakshana Saptaraja and Rani. So all these Kathanikas definitely directly to a serious, sincere student, inspire only to begin with seeing those gunas. यार हमें भी ऐसे गुणवान पुरुषार्थ प्रयत्न से बनना है. Leaving to ourselves, left to ourselves, we only get stagnant or become more downfallen like any animal. Not leaving ourselves, taking ourselves into our hands, we have to make ourselves person of all glorious qualities, wisdoms, and achievements. Such inspirations come to us. So, atra idam mandapakyanam shrunu shravana bhushanam. So, the shravana bhushanam, like the ornament to the audition, is this mandapakyanam. I am narrating. You listen, He Rama. Nisandeyaha yatha eshaha artaha chitte vishranti meshat. Esha artaha, this knowledge I gave you, chitte in your chitta, nisandeha, freed from all doubts, vishranti meshati, this knowledge gets settled in your antakara. When Vasishtha said like that, Sri Ramji says, Sadbodha Vruddhaye, for the Vruddhi of the Sadbodha, for the strengthening, deepening of this Sadvastu's knowledge, He Brahman, O Lord, Samasena, Pada Ashame, Mandapa Akyanam Akhilam. Definitely, you tell the entire Mandapa Akhyana story to me precisely. Akila means without missing anything. Samasena because the elderly person, the Guru is. Yena bodho vivardhate, by which by bodha, my jnana, atmabodha becomes stronger, surer. Sri Vasishtha Uvach. Vasishtha starts telling about the Raja. So we have seen 1, 2, 3, 4 qualities of this king. The remaining few we will see and also see about the Rani. They are the this is the topic of this chapter in the remaining portion. So Vasishtha starts, Sri Vasishtha Vacha, Abhodasmin Mahapite Kulapadmo Vikasavan Padmo Namanrupaha Sriman Bahuputro Vivekavan. So Padmo Nama Nrupaha Asmin Mahipite Abhutu. Asmin Mahipite, on this most beautiful Mahi Bhumandala Abhut, there happened to be a Nrupaha Rajaha by name Padma. His name was Padma, the name of the king. So his Sadgunas were Kula Padmaha Vikasavan. So he was the one who was so consciously living to do the Vikasa of his the Kula Padma, not living a negative life of the Murajjana of the Kula Padma. So the Kula is like Padma, which in his Kula, his father's great grandfather, great grandfather, all of them were like the Padma Pushpa, well blossomed to give that fragrance of ruling the Praja in the most enchanting, beautiful manner. So to that Kula Padma, he came Vikasavan only, means he added only more beauty through his kingdom to the name and fame to this Kula. So these are such things when they are left, they are remain left. But when they are taken, little thought is given to it. It definitely gives us some information. And don't we see in politics also? You know, the this is politics only here. It is said by the Praja. So he is doing more beautiful activities than his earlier father, etc., who are the kings. Yeah, the other way also we can see his father was a better Rakshasa than this fellow. This fellow is imposing so many taxes, not taking care of any of our needs, etc., and torturing us. करके वो राजा को लोग वो गाली भी देते. So this king is Kulapadma Vikasavan. Kulapadma Vikasavan. See, the people always say this Raja is doing more social reforming, Praja Palana activities better than the earlier king. So lesson is therefore we have to look into our own ancestors, whichever the way we see, family wise or officially or our Guru Shishya Parampara, then we should try to be better than what they lived rather than bringing that scar insult to that. And that's why the India में सनातन धर्म में कुल परंपरा, वंश परंपरा, आचार्य परंपरा, and also Mula Guru in the form of Gotra Rishi always is said to remind us that you belong to a dignified Kula, therefore behave well. Stand up to the standard of them and add to it. And those who don't have this background, to support them as well as to inspire them, to protect them, and to caution them, they become licentious to live like animals and leaving a negative, what you call, legacy to the subsequent generations in their own kula. हमारा भारत ऐसा नहीं है. We belong to the great grand old Guru Parampara, Rishi Parampara, etc. So protecting along with enjoying that lineage, we also have the duty to stand up to those values, etc. ये एक बात होती है कि वंश कुल का ख्याति को खड़ा करने के प्रयत्न में we become disciplined, isn't it? Then the next generation also we can pass on. देखो, I lived up to the expectations of my father and grandfather, etc. You to do the same. We have the strength to tell our next generation. So Kulapadma Vikasavan, he was one guna. Second guna is Srimanu. Sriman is full of all sampadas. In the Srimatata, his physical power, his archery, etc., all other required good qualities, is full of that sampada, Sri. To indicate that He was not a lazy fellow from childhood, not to inculcate any of the good quality strengths. Rather, he worked hard. Therefore, is Shriman, versatile personality with all abilities and talents. So, a Raja that way should have all the abilities, all the Divya Gunas, Shakti, Samarthya. Then only he can command, the Sainyam, the mantris, to rule the kingdom effectively and develop it, and while doing so, protecting from the enemies. Shriman. Like we have the government now, Shriman. We can wait and watch the response to this Delhi blast. Once it is known whose hand is there behind, we can see the Tagda action. Very meticulously, intelligently done. है ना? So Sriman, second quality. Third one is Bahuputraha. So he had lot of children. They are also well trained so that they can take up the kingdom further. Then Vivekavana. Another beautiful thing is he is full of Viveka. He doesn't live life of his own or as a king for the praja with aviveka. No. He has got Viveka before taking the Nirnaya. The Raja should be Viveki. He cannot take such Nirnayas which cause harm to the country and sometimes become irreversible. ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए. So he was विवेकवान. Full of that विवेक wisdom. राजा को ये विवेकवान होना है, श्रीमान होना चाहिए, कुल पद्म होना चाहिए. And बहुपुत्रः. Lot of children well trained to take up the reins subsequently. Four qualities of this Raja. Further in the next mantra, how beautiful these things you see. Maryada Palanam Bodhir Dvishattimira Bhaskaraha Kanta Kumudini Chandraha Doshatrunahutasanaha. Four more qualities of him are told. Maryada Palana Ambodhi. He is like an ocean following the Maryada. That the oceans never come out of their shores to engulf the Prithvi. For such a long eternity they stay there. Sometime during some cyclones or floods or tsunami, they just tell the Praja of the Prithvi, just be careful. Anything wrong we are doing, that Prakriti, Samudra, they remind us, and they also tell us that the life is not permanent. When it's available, make highest use of it. Other than that, the Samudra is always in its Maryadas. So it doesn't cross the limits. So too, this Raja knows all the Maryadas and he follows them. So it is such a big subject. Again, elaboration we will not do here. Leave it to your discussion. That life of Maryada, life of knowing our limits and our what do you call it? अपने औकात समझकर जीना, अपने लेवल समझकर जीना. That Maryada पालन. Everywhere. Like when we travel in traffic maryadas, rules follow करना. When we are in a train, bus, etc., वहाँ के मर्यादाओं का उल्लंघन नहीं करना. When we are in society in different programs, public functions, maryada. So too with our family, friends, really everywhere there is maryada. जिसका भंग we should not do. So he was like ocean in following those maryadas, those cautions, rules, regulations, knowing his limitations. It includes everything. If the maryada, like once we grow to the age of 65, 70, anything we eat we can't digest. Therefore, we should know how much we can eat. Maryada palan. तबीयत खराब नहीं करना. So at that age, too many exercises, walkings cannot be done or any such things, activity. वहाँ भी एक मर्यादा होता है, isn't it? So to our relation with people, attachments to them, उन सब में मर्यादाएं होते हैं. जानकर उसका अनुसार जीना. So to बोलने में मर्यादा. How far I have to speak, what I have to speak, to whom I have to speak, when to stop, and when not to start even. All of that is called Maryada. In Palana of that Maryada is like Ambodhi. Fifth quality. Sixth one is Dvishat Timira Bhaskaraha. People who do his Dvesha for no reason, that is Shatrus, If they are like Timira, the darkness, he is like Bhaskara, the Prachanda Surya. Isn't it? See, the whole earth in that side is in darkness, pitch darkness. One Surya's arrival eliminates the entire darkness and see the amount of light he fills the earth with. So to those who do the Dvesha, to those Dvesha doing Timiras, he is like Bhaskara means he is so powerful that when Surya comes, even little of the darkness also never stays. So too is so powerful. Whoever are the Shatrus, he doesn't spare even one. And that's required as a Raja. A person who is totally into Brahmanveshana, Tattvajnana, seeing Paramatma everywhere, he will not have any outer Shatrus. Inside his Ajnana is Durgunasara Shatru. He'll fight with them. But other people, you and I, especially the king, there are so many Shatrus troubling his kingdom out of jealousy, etc. Like to India. We have Shatrus. People take us like that. See that bomb blast yesterday in Delhi. 12, 13 people died. So they are Shatrus. So the king should take care of the country by eliminating them. So many Antar Shatrus are there, Bahya Shatrus are there. They are like Timira, darkness. Bhaskaraha, like Surya, Bhagwan or the king should eliminate them. So this Raja Padmavas, Bhaskara for Dvesha doing Timira, the darkness. So for the darkness of enemies, he is blazing sun. Sixth quality. Seventh one is Kanta Kumudini Chandraha. He's so good in his qualities, his behavior, his personality, that he is the one who blossoms, the Kanta Kumudini, like a Chandra. So the Kumudini, the शाम को खिलने वाले फूल, चंद्रमा का आने पर they are called. Like Surya आने पर the kamal खिलता है daytime. Then the Kumudini blossoms when moon comes. Like that, Ratkirani, etc. Some flowers. So he is Chandra like Kanta Kumudini. So everybody sees his personality and gets that respect. He maintains that. He by nature like that every one of us always look up to some people of good qualities to admire. He was ready, available always. Even this also is a lesson for us. Here not only for Kanta Kumudini, but anybody is a Kumudini who watching us, who should be like Chandra to blossom up their hearts. In general, our presence should give that joy and inspiration to people around. So, the seventh quality. Eighth one is dosha truna hutasanaha. So, to the dosha of the truna, the dosha, the mistakes, the shortcomings, the failures, if they are like truna, the blades of grass dried up, he is hutasanaha, he is fire to burn them. So, the fire doesn't take to burn the dry grass lot of time. चल धीरे नो एकदम लग गया तो जलाकर राख कर देता. There are two things. The fire quickly burns the grass and entirely burns the grass. नामो निशान भी नहीं छोड़ता. So to all the dosha shortcomings, like a fire, उसका नामो निशान भी नहीं रहना, उसको ऐसे मिटाना. Dosha means mistakes, shortcomings in any sort of things while ruling the kingdom. Of his own also, because unknowingly sometimes happen or some things planned only we do it, they may not work, they may need to be edited, etc. So he is like the doshatruna hutasana, like fire. So to others, like the mantris, like the other people of government or even the praja, if any dosha is there in their behavior, तृण भास्कर आल्सो तृण उदासन आल्सो मीन्स उसको बड़ा वृक्ष बनने से पहले तृण समान जब होता है छोटा तभी ही just burns it into ashes. So he doesn't spare the dosha truna, he doesn't spare the shatru timira. Shatru timira ke liye is bhaskara, dvisha timira, and for the dosha truna he is utashana. See the alertness, see the awareness, see the maturity, see the completeness, see the full qualification as a king, isn't it? And we are king to our own life, kingdom. We may not be the king to the city of all other people or the country, पर हम अपने जीवन के राजा हैं, सो हमारा राज्य, जीवन रूपी राज्य का पालन करने में हमारे लिए भी these qualities are required. So I should be Hutasana regarding the Durgunas of Tamo and Rajaguna in me. Hutasana is fire to burn. See that thought if you again give importance. Will it not give us some inspiration that in me these are the Tamo Raja Durgunas which are really poisoning my life? Like Hutasana fire, I'll burn them into ashes. है ना? Like Tamo Guna of sleeping up to 7, 8, 9, 10. So एक बार सोच लिया कि नहीं, I have to get up early morning. Once decided, started doing so, then never looked back again. If somebody says last 10 years, I never got up before 4:30 or after 4:30, sorry. Before 4:30 only I got up. It means that the Durguna of laziness, which was like Truna, he has burnt it into ashes. So too some bad food habits are there. है ना? Or any other habits. छोड़ दिया मतलब छोड़ दिया एक बार. भास्कर हुताशन के तरह उसको burning into ashes. 8 qualities of Raja told. Now the ninth one. Merur vibudha vrundanam yashashchandro bhavarnave Hora sarah sadguna hamsanam kamalamala bhaskaraha. 4 more good qualities are told. One, Merur vibudha vrundanam. So, Vibhuda Vrunda, all the Devata Ganas, they always feel like staying in that Meru Parvata because of its Divyata and Prashantata, that they revel there. They do their upasanas there, Ananda there, etc. So, too, for the Vibhuda Vrunda of Devatas, this Raja is like Meru Parvata, that in his kingdom so many temples are there, and every day in all those temples authentically मतलब राजा मर्यादाओं से ही of all the devatas so many yajnas, upasanas, pujas, ahutis are done that the devatas feel like staying in that raja's kingdom and blessing that raja and the whole kingdom with all what they can do. So lot of Varuna Yajnas are going on. Therefore, Varuna Devata is so happy to stay there and give rains. So too, the Agni Devata Upasanas are done. So the Agni keeps them warm, never burns anything unnecessarily. So to the Vayu Upasana, Arogya Devata Upasana, Anna Devata Upasana. So all of them in that kingdom happen so that all devatas are happy to stay. मेरु पर्वत के समान है हो देवता वृंद के लिए. Good thought, no? In our life also, by doing upasanas to various devatas, should see that the devatas are happy to bless us. When we have all the indriya adhisthana devatas for us to worship so that they bless our indriyas. We have the antakarana devatas, worship them, they bless us. So they are devatas for so many shaktis and sadgunas for us to have. Isn't it? For the Vidya Devata, for the Lakshmi Devata. So when we are continuously in the Shraddha Yukta Upasana of them, they always are with us to bless. Remember, in your eyes, in front of your eyes, if you see somebody with all those virtues or all the blessednesses, you understand that they have done the seva of Devata Guna, Upasana of the Devata Guna. And remember, Kalko, if you want any of such facilities, qualities, riches, blessings. From now onwards, be engaged fully in those anushtanas of worshipping those devatas. निरंतर करते जाओ. खूब धन चाहिए तो महालक्ष्मी कुबेरा आदि का उपासना. शक्ति पावर चाहिए तो those devatas. And to you and I, we being Vedantins, we want Vedanta Tattva Jnana. Therefore, those Brahma Rishis, though Brahmanubhava mein sthita Rishi Muni, them we can remember. Their upasana we can do. Isn't it? Today, luckily, in morning class, common sense thought mein, that's what we saw. Guftagu with our Shastras, with our Rishi Muni Gana, and also with our Devatas. Same topic. Do you remember those who have come in the morning? So, He is like the Meru Parvata for the Vibhuda Brunda. So Devatas Rishis feel to stay in the Raja's kingdom for his faith in them, upasanas, yajnas, worships, propitiations, organizing continuously Devata Sambandhi Karyakramas of Utsavas. Nityotsava, Pakshotsava, Masotsava, Samvatsarotsava, Panchavarshotsava, Brahmotsava, variety them. Prana Pratishtha Utsava, Varshikotsavas. This is the ninth quality. He is like Meru Parvata for the Devata Vrunda who feel like comfortably staying there, who finds comfort in staying there. Then ninth one, okay, 10th one, Yashas Chandro Bhavar Nave. In this, the Bhavar Nava, the life of this world, Yashas Chandraha, he is like Chandrama. चंद्रमा को देखकर जो समुद्र ऊपर ऊपर उठता है उसी तरह his good life is so beautiful like the moon, like Bhava, the whole country looks up to him with inspiration and try to copy him. That's the meaning of for the Bhavarnava. He is the Yashash Chandra, means he is the one others seek to imbibe or follow. He is an example. He sets himself as an example with his great life. 10th quality. The 11th one, Saraha Sadguna Hamsana. All the Hamsa Pakshis will feel like staying in such a Manasa Sarovar. जब उनको स्वच्छ जल मिलता है, उनको चुगने को मोतियां भी मिलते हैं, साथ में देर इज द proximity of Lord Shiva, Kailasheshwara, and also around that all the Rishi Muni are sitting for tapasya. So Hamsa stay there for that reason in that Manas Sarovar. So he is for the Sadguna Hamsas, he is like Manasa Sarovar. So all the Sadgunas are there in him. For every Sadguna, he can be taken as an example. Like the Gita Yokta Sadgunas of Adveshta Sarvabhutanam Ityadi. So he is the river, pond, lake for the Sadguna Hamsas to revel, enjoy. It's again an inspiration to you and I. Look into our hearts. How many are the Sadgunas which are by nature with us permanently? Very good. Have more and more. That's why we have to read such books which enumerate about these values, gunas. From tomorrow we are going to see in Gita the Sadgunas of Sthita Prajna. They become sadhana to us, Shankar Bhagavan says. Hai Prajahadeda, Kaman, all of that gunas we are going to see. So for the Sadguna Hamsas, he is the Sarovara. There is no Sadguna which is not taking shelter in him. Imagine वो बंदा वो जीव जानकर समझकर मैच्योरिटी से कितने जन्मों से ये सद्गुणों को इकट्ठा करते गए और in one life only, right from the earliest childhood, focusing fully on imbibing and stabilizing in these sadgunas. कोई कोई लोग होते हैं कि जन्म में इतने सद्गुणों को पाते, किसी को पिछले जन्म से आते हैं, some they do. So too there are people by birth with 100 durgunas and they develop further as they grow. So I like this quality at Saraha Sadguna Hamsana. And what Sadgunas we have, that our life is becoming Vikasita and we are becoming a great asset to the world around. People know that we are blessings to be in this world. They appreciate our presence. Sadguna Hamsanam Saraha, all Sattvika Gunas are in him. See, for the Durgunas, like the grass, etc., he is like a fire, but for the Sadgunas, he is like a or Saraha lake only. Okay, 11th quality. 12th one, Kamala Amala Bhaskaraha. Again, Amala Kamala के लिए भास्कर है. तो Kamala lotus. Like the Kumudini blossoms when the moon comes, so too the Kamala lotus blossoms in the presence of Bhagavan Surya. It's right. So that Chandra is called, that's why Nalini Bandhava. Then Surya is called Kamala Bandhava. So Kamala means Lakshmi Devi. Lakshmi Kamala also means the lotus. So Lakshmi Rupi lotus. For her to blossom is Bhaskara. Now see the similarities and the coincidences in our today's mantra ucharana. We saw Lakshmi mantra only. मॉर्निंग क्लास में लक्ष्मीं क्षीरसमुद्रास्तनयां श्रीरङ्गधामेश्वरीं दासीभूतसमस्तदेववनितां लोकैकदीपाङ्कुरां श्रीमन्मन्दकटाक्षलब्धविभव ब्रह्मेन्द्रगङ्गाधरां त्वां त्रैलोक्यकुटुम्बिनीं सरसिजां वन्दे मुकुन्दप्रियाम्. आज ही देखा हमने लक्ष्मी माता मंत्र. So he is for the Lakshmi of lotus, for the riches, etc. is like Bhaskar. Means every richness, whether it is monetarily richnesses or it is the richness of the consumable goods or the non-consumable useful facilities, for the collection of talented, qualified people, for all of that, if you name them as Lakshmi, he is the Bhaskara, allowing them to grow and blossom. So in his kingdom, every Lakshmi, every Sampada grows only, doesn't get suppressed. So Dhanalakshmi, Dhanya Lakshmi, Pashustanpada Lakshmi, Vidya Lakshmi, Gruha Lakshmi, Jana Lakshmi, and all the Lakshmi of the Kalas arts, he is Bhaskara for them to make them grow. That's all in those days. Some kings used to suppress all of them. क्या है सबके टाइम वेस्ट करना पैसे वेस्ट करना. There are some kings like Sri Krishna Devaraya said to be so famous that in his kingdom he allowed all the arts and sahitya literature to blossom. कोई राज कला पोषक होते हैं, होना चाहिए हर एक राजा को, है ना. कलाओं का पोषण करने वाले. कोई कला शोषक होते हैं, because that Raja's mind is that way confused. So he is a Kamala Amala Bhaskara for the Amala Kamalas, all the Lakshmis, Sampadas which are pure in nature, which are useful, he is Bhaskara Surya. If that Sampada is not Amala, impure hai, so he will not allow it to grow. Like the Sampada of the terrorists. See that in India? इनको इतना सब दिया जाता है फिर भी they hate the country, they hate the Hindus, they want to kill. ऐसे क्यों करते पता नहीं है. Somebody should tell them. Don't do all that nonsense. तुम नरक में ही जाओगे. So that Malayukta Kamala is the sampadas of negativeness. There are some kings, they allow the gundas to flourish, the negative elements to flourish. In उत्तर प्रदेश का नाम सुनते डर लगता था हमें 10 साल पहले तक, because everywhere all those people. But now they are all eliminated. They are made to become good, most of them. You are seeing in front of our own eyes. What's wrong in knowing it? Negative people are propitiated because they get the votes and all. ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए. राजा को भी ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए. Even the people also should not encourage. See that place, Kashmir, and always supporting terrorists to stay there. And they keep on attacking the other part of Bangladesh. ऐसा क्यों करते हो? The Raja should be very alert to eliminate this Malayukta growth of negative people. But the Amala Kamala ke liye, he should be a Bhaskar. Like in our country, the beauty is what? Wisdom ke saath, knowing that there are so many saints, sages, organizations, they are doing their spiritual work. The other part of developing the latest abilities, talents for the country to stand strong in the world. The other things like sciences, the technologies, the engineerings, they are all called Kamala. They are all being supported, you see. Anything new latest comes, India supports. Not like the religious fanaticism that nothing is done. Like our neighboring countries, the Bangladesh, the Pakistans, all of those countries find so much of fanaticism that the other aspects they don't grow. Some countries grow so much materialistically that the other values and spirituality they lose it. In our Bharata, we have to balance both. Science wise, technology wise, we have to grow only to see that the praja do not suffer. Not for bhoga, it should be. Same time, to give meaning to the life, the spirituality also should be grown or supported. So कमलामल भास्कर से हमें इतना सीखना चाहिए. ठीक है. Next one, the 11th, 4 plus 4 plus 4, 12 we have seen. Then next one, Sangrama Virutpavanah Manomatanga Kesari Samasta Vidyadaitaha Sarvashcharya Gunakaraha. Four more beautiful qualities of this Raja, making them Solaha. Sangrama Virutpavanaha. For the Virut Latas of Sangrama, he is like the Pavana. He is like a blowing wind to shake and eliminate the enemies when the Sangramas happen. So Sangrama Virut Pavana. Because sometimes we have to wage the war. Otherwise the enemies take us for granted. Like the Devatas. Again and again go to the Brahaspati and the Brahmadi. When pray and get various powers, wage war, eliminate the Rakshasas and get their kingdom back. India Operation Sindoor 1, 2. To know the 3 has to be launched now. Few are spared out of so many. No, they have to be. So too, some of the countries in the world. They are continuously waging war against the terrorism. All world together should wage war against the poverties, the hungers, the diseases, etc. And all the spiritual giants, all religions should wage war against too much materialism as well as durgunas. मिल सके तो मिलकर करो, नहीं मिल सके for other differences, but the work to करो ना. Like all doctors may not come together, but each doctor eliminates the diseases according to his specification, his specialization. है कि नहीं? For their own egos, they may not come together. बट आए होते इकट्ठा करोगे तो होलसेल में सस्ते में रोगों को निपट सकते. बट दो इट इज एक्सपेक्टेड बट कैनॉट बी गारंटीड दैट मेच्योरिटी इन देम. क्योंकि जितना विजडम, जितना अकल आता है, उतना बंदा अहंकारी भी होता है, चीज मार खान बनता है. आई एम ग्रेटर देन अदर, आई विल नॉट मिक्स विथ अदर्स. लाइक स्पिरिचुअल ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस, ईच ऑर्गेनाइजेशन थिंग्स इज हीरो, never they don't join hands with others. Hindu organization, that's why they don't become synergy at all. Though each one are powerful giant in their visions, in their wisdoms, कोई नहीं टुगेदर कर नहीं पाओ तो इंडिविजुअली तो करो. सो संग्राम वीरुत्पवनः, like the heavily blowing wind, he should defeat the enemies in the संग्राम, युद्ध. सो संग्राम रूपी लताओं को उखाड़ कर हिलाकर फेंकने के लिए वो राजा है, इज पवन. सो इट हैज टू मीनिंग्स. वन इज see to it that without waging the war the things are settled, through that negotiations, etc. Our country India's dignity, maturity has been always that we give a long rope. We try to sort out through discussions, negotiations. In sometimes we only are at loss. Still we say we should set an example to be a peaceful country. इसलिए we never attacked any country, though so many countries deserve us aggressive attacks, our aggressive attack. And even when it becomes inevitable, we do that pinpointedly to the point we do. All our surgical strikes and all operations Hindus are not aimed at the general public. That's the glory of Sanatana Dharma. The Hindu thinks like that everybody is human being, in whichever the religion they are, they deserve to live. We should not kill them. But these terrorists, they cannot be spared. इसको तो eliminate करना ही. So to the pointed way, we attack. Isn't it? That's the beauty of Bharat Mata. And that's how it should be. Because to build nations, to build the cultures, it takes eons. And to destroy one war is enough. And that wars and all of that is the proof of the immaturity of the Praja as well as the Raja, like the again neighbor country. This immaturity of people and the governments there always wanting to attack India. टेररिस्टों को भेजकर बेवकूफी है वो क्यों कर रहे हो रे बाबा तो अपने देश को बड़ा करो ना अरे why that hatred towards Hinduism we don't know in these two religions of Christianity and Islam. You are born from Hinduism only. Even the other religions, some of them which are slowly getting separated from Sanatan Dharma, उनको भी धीरे धीरे सनातन धर्म में एक गुस्सा हेट्रेड आ रहा है क्यों इट इज अ पेरेंट रिलीजन इट इज टू ऑल see that the minds of people misguided only है ना सयत प्रमाणम गुरुते श्रेष्ठः तदनुवर्तते those people who are leaders when they misguide sometime for thousands of years also the people remain misguided. See that this Islam religion, misguided by their prophets and all, for how many lives or hundreds of years, they try to take others as enemies and keep that attitude of killing them. We don't know, misguided. I to pray that in our Sanatana Dharma, ऐसे कोई ना हो हमारा तो सब परमात्मा स्वरूप है सबको जीने का हक है सब खुश रहना है अवर्स इज लोका समस्ता सुखिनो भवन्तु सर्वे जना सुखिनो भवन्तु है ना सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मां कश्चित दुःखम असतु that is our prayers so sangrama virutpavanah is equal to when it can be avoided the sangrama is avoided why because युद्ध में जो नुकसान होता है ना अब देखो these places where last 2 years से bombarding हुआ कभी उसको फिर सुधार सकते हैं उस प्लेसेस को अगर करना है तो कितना खर्चा होगा कितने साल साल लगेंगे it is easy to push the buttons that every country kept ready to attack the other nations even with nuclear weapons it's easy just push the button हो गया but it is so difficult again to re-establish that's why not having the sangrama also is great art without waging the war winning is the real wisdom isn't it our India is doing that only without this way fighting war, we are winning the battle. And our final win is this that the people learn that we are not harmful to anyone, we are only helpful. Don't unnecessarily harm us. If they realize it, that is our moral real victory. That's why, except this stupid neighbor Pakistan, so many Arab countries they respect us. Maybe some still are there, Turkey and all. वो सब भी कट्टर वाले but the other places they know some of them are realizing and many know by heart but they are afraid to say outside they know in the heart that never any Hindu tried to destroy any of the their worship places etc isn't it we never tell that we say hare sab mein bhagwan how the other religions flourish in India only one reason we say in that path also there may be sadhana and reaching the God, so let us support them only. That's the beauty. We don't wage wars and we don't have that. That's the glory. Know the glory of Hinduism and spread it everywhere. Let others know. In this way, Sangrama Virutpavana. But if it is required, the war has to be waged, then all efforts have to be put. जब इनेविटेबल होता है ना when the self sustenance होती है क्वेश्चन तो वी हैव टू डू जीना जब है मर तो नहीं सकते ना बुजदिली में so that's what sangrama virutpavana the 13th 14th one mano matanga kesari see for the elephant of the mind he is the kesari the lion the elephant is so powerful only the king of the jungle the lion can subdue control that huge elephant. So the mind is like Matanga, the elephant. He is the Kesari. So his mind always, which is like elephant, is under his control, who is like a lion. He is a lion to control the mind of elephant, elephant of mind. 14th quality. So he doesn't allow his mind to rule him. The imagines, projections, sentiments, he just puts them in check. What intellect, with the guidance of rishis and shastras, gets convinced about how to rule the kingdom, to execute those plans, he uses the mind elephant, not allowing the mind to overpower and destroy the beautiful fertile lands and the people. है सिंह गर्जना करना है हमको हमारे मन नामक हाथी को कंट्रोल करने के लिए. This another quality, though it's a Vedantic spiritual sadhana related more and more. The whole text is that only. That day when we decide not to allow the mind to overpower our intellect and its wise decisions, and accordingly become strong with ourselves. See, Vijnana Sarathiryastu Manaha Pragravahan Naraha Saha Advana Prapnamapnoti Vitadvishno Paramam Padam. Everywhere it is said. The one who has controlled his mind alone has conquered all the avidya, etc. in spirituality. So, Mano Matanga Kesari is a beautiful quality. He is like a lion to curb control the elephant mind. 14th quality. 15th one, Samasta Vidya Daitaha. He is so much, loves all the Vidyas. Samasta Vidya Daitaha. Daita means Priyaha, who loves. That's why we in our all 6 classes while doing Sankalpa, we do that. Samasta Brahma Bhakti Yoga Dharma Vidya Acharyebhyo Namaha. So Brahma Vidya Acharyebhyo Namaha, Bhakti Vidya Acharyebhyo Namaha, Dharma Vidya Acharyebhyo Namaha, Yoga Vidya. Because all of them are required in general for society, in particular for every human being to live a evolutionary life. So Samasta Vidya. So the Samasta Vidyas are the Adhyatmika Vidyas, the Vyaktitva Vikasa Vidyas, the Laukika Vidyas. In the Adhyatmika Vidya, the Tattva Vidya of Jnanam and Bhakti, the Vyaktitva Vikasa mein so many values, etc. come. So too, the Bhautika Vidyas are the outer worldly talents, abilities. Samasta Vidya Daita. He loves Vidya. He wants people to get educated, talented, promoting them. Like again in India, good efforts are done. But the problem is the people are in the sometime hands of their own bad natures and misguidances. इसलिए quickly उनको सही मार्ग में लाने में टाइम लगता है. Quickly नहीं होता. समस्त विद्या दयिता. Isn't it? Everybody should become vidyavan, vidwan. 15th quality. The last one is in this shloka, Sarva Ascharya Gunakaraha. He is abode of all the Ascharya Chakita Gunas. Sarva Ascharya Gunas. सबको आश्चर्यचकित करने वाला means they are surprised that how can these qualities be there. Like sometimes you can see in our leadership in India, the Prime Minister and all, Sarva Ascharya Guna. The small children, he sits and chats with them. The cricket players, like a family, makes them sit and interacts. And while interacting, he just remembers the name of those players and the tattoos they wear, the habits they have, they are the Instagram things what they have. That is the Ashcharya Guna. Such a huge personality of being head of the whole country. ये चीजों को भी याद रखना and even encouraging them. That राम मंदिर के समय you देखो, even कोरोना के समय, those who served, he washed the feet of them. They can never be forgotten. आश्चर्य गुण कहते हैं उसको. लोग तो इतने अलग डिफाइंड सेल्फ प्रोक्लेम्ड डिग्निटी में रहते हैं, they don't even want to take a picture with the people whom they consider to be lower. और भी नहीं, हम छोटे म्यांमार भी देश में जाते हैं, इवन मालदीव से सारी भी वेलकम देम अगेन. आश्चर्य गुण कहते हैं उसको. Like that, so many the Ashcharya Gunas, some of them of simplicity natured, some are of the highest level. In that Prabhasa Kshetra, going into the ocean and touching the Dwaraka Nagari. It was very, very good. That is the Ashcharya Guna. We have very good president, prime minister now. सारे आश्चर्य गुणों से very rare to have. नहीं तो देश को बेच के खाने वाले होते. So 16 qualities are seen, friends. Then one more shloka. Surari sagara kshobha vilasan mandara chalaha vilasa pushpa ugamadhu saubhagya kusumayudaha. Three more. So Surari Sagara Shobha Vilasan Mandarachala. So both Devatas and Rakshasas wanted to churn the Milky Ocean to get the nectar. Now, though they are ready to churn, that which has to be very stable, helping them to churn is the Mandarachal Parvat. वो डिसबैलेंस्ड होकर इधर उधर गिरा तो एक तरफ तो चर्निंग रुक जाएगा, दूसरा all the devata rakshas will die. That is a huge पर्वत है. It's not a छोटा वाला जो बटर मिल्क को चर्न करने वाला, ऐसा नहीं है. मंदराचल. So it was made to be so stable to be able to do the churning. So he is so much stable in doing the churning of what is good and bad for the country, what's required, not required, all the time. So Akshubdha, technically this word is called unshaken, unbroken. Then what you call undisturbed, unperturbed is that quality. अक्षुब्ध कहते हैं. शोभित नहीं होना, चंचल नहीं होना, विचलित नहीं होना. See that now that bomb blast Delhi में हुआ, whole country is not that way vichalit. It's very sad, but we look into the reasons. You know, the life is going on normal. It's not negligence, not carelessness. If you see the way the probe is happening, within few hours, 20 hours, 10 hours, 20 hours, में ही already 7 people are nabbed who have got connection to that. You know, the NIS, NSG, all of them are working, tracing. Media also doing good job. Everybody is doing. Yet akshubdha. Yet we can't take it for granted. You know, without knowing full evidences, nobody claimed so far. So we don't just like that hate. There are tentative chances, but still, देखो akshubdha. So to when that happened, you know, पहलगाम में attack and all, akshubdha नहीं होना चाहिए, but हुआ है. No, how to respond to that, we have to focus on that. You know, in that life, so many things inside and outside keep on happening. For everything we get perturbed, disturbed. We cannot take actions, preventive as well as curative, like health issues also. Akshubda, suddenly which any health problem can happen. You cannot be excited and worried. चलो जो जांच कराओ, मेडिसिन है, ट्रीटमेंट है तो लो, नहीं तो leave the body. How does it matter? अक्षुब्ध होना है. Everywhere business, I did with my best of abilities. Success हुआ, continue. नहीं हुआ तो ठीक है. Take up other one. So he is like Mandarachala Parvata, undisturbed. He is the 17th quality. Then Vilasa Pushpa Ogha Madhu. Another thing is what? For the Vilasa Pushpa Ogha, he is also Vilasa Yukta. Vilasa means the entertainments. He is not a total sannyasi, give up and do sadhana. He is the king. King gets tired, he needs some vilasa. Even to the praja also, some entertainments can be given. You can't make everybody sannyasi. And they won't also. Nowadays, even sannyasis wants vilasa, some comforts. Isn't it? So, vilasa pushpa ogha ke liye, he is what? Madhu. He is a madhumasa. You know, that madhumasa, that Chaitra Vaishakha the Mahaso mein, like every tree has beautiful flowers blossomed. So he is like the Madhumasa for the Vilasa Pushpa. You know, Vilasa Pushpa means some comforts, some necessary easiness in the world. Like the foreign countries, they aim at that Vilasa. Everything's spick and span and perfect up nowadays, though the comforting, sophisticated gadgets that are every day coming out. और आश्चर्य 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 बाबा. Although there is no end to them, with each of the discovery, man becomes more lazy only. So, Vilasa Pushpoka means making the playgrounds for playing, Udyanavanas, the Vyayama Shalas, the Natakaranga, they're all called Vilasa Pushpa. A good eateries. Yes, let the people have good food. See that people should have discretion that I should not be sold out to them. My main goal is Paramarthika only. Straight away, if you can give up everything and go for it, go. If not, while aiming at that, slowly, steadily come out of. While coming out, so live a comfortable life. So इस तरह से विलास पुष्प ओघ मधुमासम is like the madhumasa. For that, vilasa pushpas. See that good, beautiful way of saying. 18th. 19th. Saubhagya kusuma ayudaha. Saubhagya kusuma ayudaha. For the Saubhagya, Subhagata. For all types of richnesses, kusuma ayudaha, the one who has got the flower as the arrow, the Kamadeva. He is like the Kamadeva in fulfilling all the kamanas and getting that Saubhagya. सौभाग्य के लिए कुसुम आयुध के समान है. कामना देवा, if he worship, if he is happy, he fulfills all the kamanas. In that way, the 19th one. Then the last shloka, Leela Lata Lasya Marut Sahasotsaha Keshavaha Saujanya Kairava Shashi Durleela Vallikanalaha. Four more, total 23 are total. है ना 4 4 4 और 3 4 4 5 is 20 1 3 23. So लीला लता लास्य मरुत है ना लीला लता लास्य मरुत लीला रूपी लताओं का लास्य के लिए मरुत के समान है ना when the wind blows when lot of latas are there how nicely they dance to that winds and give a joyful vision. So leelas means all types of expressions happen presentations let us call. What was said earlier was the vilasas, the bhogas, enjoyments. There you can talk about all the bhoga sambandhi. The leela means the sports and arts and culture. You can talk. For them, if they are like Lata, he is like Maruta, wind. Next one is very good one. Tomorrow we'll talk a little more of that. Sahasa Utsaha Keshavaha. In Sahasa and Utsaha, he is like direct Bhagavan Vishnu only. Then Saujanya Kairava Shashi. In that Sujanata, Rupi Kairava is like a Chandrama. Then Durlila Vallika Analaha. For all the Durlilas, the people with negative plans, intentions, try to do the negative activities. Again, he is like Anala, he just burns them into ash. As I am telling you, for that yesterday's Delhi blast, you will see within few days such a precision yukta response from the government. दूर लीला हुआ है उसके लिए अनल का response होगा. Isn't it? Then very intelligently the responses to be informed to the people to the extent they can understand, digest. But the thing is done very, very strongly. देखेंगे आप. This present government, for our luck, throughout life, as long as we are alive, we can celebrate that we lived in a time where a very good, patriotic, intelligent government, committed way, working hard, we lived in. Along with the other governments also, we lived last 50, 60 years. है ना बोलने के लिए एक मजेदार we can cherish it and totally not out of the topic thought if we can also add to the beauty that we also respect such governance, support them, give them more chance. From our side too, we express our patriotism, our dharma prema, our living a noble life, value-oriented life, and to the extent possible, we also serve it. मजा रहता है ना? Like during the freedom fighting. Everybody might have not actively participated, going and fighting with the Britishers in any way. There are thousands, millions who passively participated in a way. They gave the food to the patriotic people. They gave वस्त्र. कोई कोई लोग तो अपने आभूषण ही निकाल के दे दिए देश के लिए. That's also counted contribution, isn't it? We can also that way for Desh and Dharma Samrakshana. We can do. My purpose of doing all these classes is this only. In what way I can serve Bharata Mata is by the Shastra, Adhyayana, Adhyapana and doing my sadhana too. Other things I am not talented in doing. I can't do politics, I can't do the arts, other things. बस एक चीज थोड़ा कहना हो सर इसलिए wait wait. This is seva to that Prabhu for as a gratitude for giving this Manushya Janma in the Bharata Varsha, that too in Sanatan Dharma. ये कृतज्ञता है, ये तो कुछ नहीं है. Any number of lives Lord gives, the highest sevas only we will do for the Lord. So in this way, he is called Dur Leela Vallika Analaha. 19 plus 4, 23. These one or two we'll see. Then in the next 7 shlokas, his wife, whose name is Leela, her Sadgunas are also spoken. Tomorrow we'll conclude them. Then how both of them had a very good life as wife and husband. Then how she starts thinking about how to make my Patideva live long, eternal, so that I am happily staying with him. That's how the story slowly builds up. Let us enjoy. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. That's at Brahmarpanamastu. Your patient audience appreciated. हिंदी में योग तारावली के लिए आइएगा.